Noisy Pixel.
Welcome back, folks, to the Noisy Pixel podcast for Tuesday, July 13th, brought to you by noisypixel.net, where we talk about video game news. I'm your host, Arthur, joined by Azario, as always. How are you this week, sir?
It's barely Monday, and I am already a sleepy boy. Usually takes me to about Wednesday, Thursday, but Monday, it's already taken me over.
Is it a rough first day of the week, or did you never really get the weekend you were hoping for?
I didn't get the weekend. It's 110 here in California, Valley area, and the AC went out at my place, and so I had to go somewhere else, which totally means that I'm going to lose productivity, right? Like I'm not going to be able to edit videos or anything. So,
well, Ian, also based in California, have you been having power outage problems?
No, but air quality, because there's also California fires going on. So so it's triple digits and fires, and I think one is related to the other, I'm sure, but
pretty much hell. It's pretty much hell. Like
it's almost like it's a desert and no one's supposed to live here. I am also in Los Angeles this week, and we had the power go out for 6 hours today. So I'm supposed to be working remotely, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Did you get reprimanded?
No.
Publicly shamed?
I started a new gig where I kind of work all the time. So when I don't work during the day and nothing vital happens, they can deal with it. So
he's a good guy, Arthur.
That's me. A workhorse. Not much of a workhorse show this week, though. We sort of have a dead news week, as you referenced it, Azario. So we got one news item we're going to talk about. Then we're just going to let things go off the rails because it went so well last time we did that.
I did want to mention that Brian's not here.
Oh, yeah.
The ghost of Brian.
I've sort of given up on making jokes about him not being here.
We went through like the quality ones, and now we're just like scraping the bottom of the barrel. Well, he's not here.
Yeah. I like how the quality ones were he's in an accident.
He was in a hospital. That was actually never a joke. And that's why he's gone.
I just hope that we see him again.
I like that phrasing because it's like, yeah, we haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, we don't really know what he's doing right now.
Just every week we're like, I don't know what's up with that guy, but he better make the fucking podcast.
I imagine he's just in a really long League of Legends game and he's trying to rank and it's not going too well. So
Yeah. So no Brian this week. So we will be left to our own devices to discuss the big news item of this past week in the video game world, which is this new Nintendo Switch OLED or OLED Switch. I'm not certain where they put it on the modifier. I did not read any of the news about this. I got the sense that it wasn't that impressive. So can you guys fill me in on the details here and I can react live, just like the audience did when they first heard this news?
I will let you know that the naming convention, as the trailer put it, was Nintendo Switch parentheses OLED version, I believe.
Great. Continuing the Nintendo trend of great names.
Like some mom is gonna walk into Target and say, "I want the OLED Switch. Give me the OLED."
Luckily, I actually wonder if in some branding meeting they're like, OLED sounds weird enough on its own. It's not like HDMI version. It's like it's an acronym rather than initialism. Mm-hmm. So maybe they could have swung it, but sort of uninspired of a name.
Yeah. I want to ask Ian. Ian, you play the Switch probably more than Arthur and I.
Yeah.
Do you ever play in handheld mode?
Oh, I play almost exclusively in handheld mode. Okay, I'm a lazy boy in bed. And
so does this excite you? Do you like this new?
No.
So hold on. Is there a main distinction that I should be picking up there? Is that this is an improvement for the handheld experience and not necessarily the docked one? Can it be?
Yeah.
The screen is bigger, right? So that's and it's
7-inch screen now. 7 inches.
What is the current, like 6.5? I'm assuming
it's like 6.2 or something like that.
Yeah,
okay, great.
And that's better, but not enough for me to go out and buy like $350 new console that isn't really new, just a slightly bigger screen.
Yes. As many people will tell you, half an inch really doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah. So
my life in a sentence. The excuse I always give.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The OLED version. Yeah. It's not enough for me to, I mean, if that was you did get your dream though. At least
yes, I did.
One part of your dream.
The one thing I asked for, which was a Ethernet port in the dock.
Oh, we did talk about this. Yeah.
So I did ask for it, and that's the Nintendo delivered. So thanks, Nintendo, for finally, for the first time in your life, creating a system that has an Ethernet port. You did good. You caught up.
They went to work on it before they listened to the 4K part, and they just got that part. Yeah, they stopped.
So it doesn't even do 4K.
No, Arthur, you're in for okay. The bad news keeps coming on the Switch OLED.
Okay.
So it is the exact same hardware as the current Switch, except for a new 64 gigabyte internal memory, which is originally right now 32 gigabytes.
Okay, so no better processing. So all those games that if you played them docked, they were fine, but if you play them in handheld, there were frame rate issues. All that is still there.
Mm-hmm. And that's the sad part. Because
great. Well, I mean, with a marginal upgrade like that, surely it's going to be pretty cheap, right?
It's $50 more than the.
Oh, okay.
Than the current. The thing is like
they're not even going to drop the price of the current one and then make this the new regular price.
See, that's what I was thinking would be the better way to go about it. But yeah,
they have the Switch Lite though. Like how you're going to have to drop both of them at some point? I think.
But sorry, real quick. Just to be clear, not that they're exactly comparable, but for another $50, you could get an Xbox or a PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah. Well,
it was $500. I don't play video.
They're 400. There are $400 models. There's the discless models.
Okay.
But I don't know how they're doing. I don't know who would want a discless system, but
I do think those are the more popular ones for what it's worth.
I'd argue that they are not.
I believe you there.
Yeah, with the shortages of the semiconductors, everything's sold out anyway, right?
Yeah, you can't really do anything.
Which actually might speak to why they didn't do a hardware improvement for the Switch, right? Because even if they wanted to, like, are those parts even available?
I don't even know why they even decided to announce this. Mm-hmm. I think retiring the handheld model of Switch would have been this way more significant announcement where they're like, yes, we have a premium mobile Switch, but we also have now the Switch Pro or Switch console that does 4K and does have better hardware, and it's just a console. I think they're so focused on this portability aspect that I want to know who they're marketing at. Like, who cares about the better contrast of an OLED screen? Like, it worked great for the Vita, but that was in 2011. Like, you're not breaking any boundaries here. You're literally just recreating with. I think that's what it is. Nintendo is known for innovation, and this is nothing of the sort. There's no innovation here, and it's kind of sad.
My guess would be that this is probably one of those very boring backward business deals where they had to re-up their supply on materials. And they're like, we can actually get a pretty good deal on OLED screens. And they're like, let's just launch a whole new Switch altogether, right?
It does fix one thing, and that's the kickstand in the back. Right now, the kickstand is just this flimsy little toothpick thing that I don't use. So now the whole back kind of comes off, and that's cool, I guess.
That sounds like innovation to me, Azario.
I think like third-party people have already fixed that issue, already, but they
with like a book leaning it against something.
I think the biggest spit in the face is the 64 gig internal memory. That is so fucked up.
Like it's not big enough.
Yeah, that is so messed up.
Because we were talking about that, I think even last week. We were trying to figure out what was the baseline for the actual Switch, and yeah, again, I have like a 200 gig sim in there, and I know I'm set, but like for 30, is it 32 right now? It's not a lot.
So I don't have an SD card in mind, so I just use the 32 gigs.
Now you have twice as much as Aria with this brand. I mean, come on.
But you look at the mini SDs, the little baby dick things, and you're like, how can they fit 256 gigabytes on this little thing? You're telling me that they couldn't internally somehow put that into the Switch. Now you want me, it's not $350. It's more like $400 because you're spending that extra $50 to buy more memory.
Yeah, you'd almost prefer a 325 with no memory at all, right?
I just imagine how many times I've deleted games off of my Switch, and it's been more than 2. So all my games right now, no way could fit on a 64 gigabyte hard drive. And it just, I don't know, just sucks.
So unimpressed by the OLED. Doesn't sound like either of you will be picking it up then.
Nah. and yeah, like I do play in handheld mode, but it's not enough for me to really be interested in it. And yeah, and I actually, the thing that I think a lot of people that I saw were, and this maybe is very telling of like hardware and where the Switch is at, is people wanted the drift fixed. This has been going on for so long. Yeah. So that's unfortunate. Like all of it is. It's just, yeah.
Nintendo doesn't even admit to that being an issue. So it's out of sight and out of mind. I just think it's a missed opportunity because the Nintendo Switch has a lot of beautiful games. You have Breath of the Wild, you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that really hit some issues performance-wise, especially in undocked mode, but even in docked mode, where the resolution becomes like, it feels like you're looking at something 480 in some of those higher intensity battles. And I just imagine how awesome those games would be if they're running on hardware that could support them. And those are first party titles. Yeah. And it just sucks. I feel like if they did improve that, I would go back and replay Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in a heartbeat just to experience a battle that doesn't freeze the screen. And it's just, that's most of the reason why I don't play docked, is the games I like to play are more of the graphical intensive games, or that's why I don't play undocked. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I just don't like the 720p aspect. So again, another spin in the face is that even undocked still is 720p and docked is still 1080p. So that's it's the same thing all around. Are you excited?
It does look slick. I will say that, but
yeah,
not $350 slick.
Yeah, it does. That's the problem, is that it does look cool. It looks like your big brother's Switch. It looks like I can't play Elmo's Adventure on this thing. But probably the game runs better than any of the games your brother's playing. I don't know. I want more from Nintendo. They were doing so well.
Nintendo, we're expecting more. Consider yourself on notice.
Yeah, and I'm wondering with because we just had the Direct not long ago, and maybe I'm wondering if they knew this was kind of underwhelming because they didn't just lump it in with that. They waited, so because I could see where like that would actually kind of bring down that presentation.
It would have overshadowed all the great games that they announced, and then everyone would just be talking shit on this terrible console.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're sort of running around in circles at this point, but because, like I said, that's really the only major news story for this week. But we do have some Noisy Pixel developments. Azario, you referenced previously that you would be starting a new manga-based show. You want to talk about that?
Well, it's pronounced manga, Arthur.
Oh my God. I take it back. I'm not doing
Welcome to Noisy Pixel, bitch. This is how we talk here.
Manga. Okay.
Dude, out of all the names that I've gotten wrong,
I still read
videos,
it from left to right, though, right?
No. Probably watch 4Kids Yu-Gi-Oh too. Jesus.
I like the shonen anime. Right?
I know you do.
Yeah,
I know you do. Yeah. So I took a chance and I launched a manga show on a video game channel, and
results are in.
People seem to like it. The medium blends more than we would expect. You know, people that play visual novels, which is big reader base of ours, do tend to fill in the gaps with manga and anime. And I'm not sure if like there's like a divide on digital or physical with manga, or if people just steal it and use fan translations. I'm not so injected into the community that I understand all these like nuances. So I think coming at the manga medium as someone who's new-ish to the medium and not gonna like talk at you all the time and like throw like these huge words at you that you don't really understand. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm directing my words and my opinions at the general audience, not
you're a man of the people, Azario.
That's what I feel like. I feel like I woke up one morning and I'm thinking I'm one of you, and that's just live every day.
This isn't an influencer. He clearly lives in a one bedroom.
I did my research and I looked at the influencers that do cover manga, and fuck, dude, they're all so. I love this. I love this. You can't love everything. You can't love everything. It's impossible. It
is possible if you have an economic incentive not to piss off anyone ever.
Yeah. Who's paying? Who the fuck is paying?
Who paid you off? The big manga industry.
Yeah. It's just,
so again, I mean, I'm not of this world at all. I don't consume this stuff, but I generally feel like most of the outlets available for people interested in that stuff, the main goal is to just not feel embarrassed, like just interacting with an individual that doesn't seem like a lunatic. And even that seems like a high bar for the most part.
Yeah, you would expect it to be the minimum, but that's what you get the most of is like this, like someone, like you'll see a lot of people who post videos with cameras like yours, but like a darker room and like kind of.
What are you trying to say? This is a one-off.
Yeah, we know you're not at home, but like a very foggy camera with dim lights and like the person's like just talking about their show.
So this is
all right, time for the fun part. Let's talk about the girls. The girls, and they're pretty cute. I give them a 7 out of 10 hankies. Anyway, follow me on Twitch. It's Thursdays and Tuesdays.
Like subscribe.
2 p.m. because I work the night shift at CVS. So
I gotta give it out to them because they'll have like 11 views, but they'll have like 100 episodes.
Hey, yeah. By the way, don't get me wrong. If you have a passion, you should pursue it relentlessly.
We support the grind.
Yeah,
we support the grind.
But just take some moment to reflect and improve.
improve your scary.
We'll give you 7 months to not be scary. After that, you need to adapt.
I've benefited from being very, very nerdy and not looking like a nerd, and it's gotten me into some trouble. I'd go to Anime Expo and try to talk to like nerdy dudes, and they just like would like totally ostracize me and like Just
Yeah. By the way, that is like a real thing, and I was sort of taken aback by it. I used to look very nerdy. I mean, I might still look very nerdy, and was more unattractive than I am right now. And there's definitely like a switch where I became more established in my professional life, and like people didn't invite me to board games anymore, and they didn't talk to me about games, and they were like very like dismissively mean. Like they would just say things that like I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like a lot of assumptions that you're like a predator or something just because you're not like gross looking. It's like, dude, I hygiene, you know,
like gatekeeping kind of stuff. Or
exactly.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I like there's times like where I would go to like hentai panels at Anime Expo, and I would like sit in line with the people. I'm a man of the people, remember? So I'm in line with them waiting for these panels, and I'll try to talk to them about hentai, and they'll just ignore me.
Yeah. What do you want?
Yeah, and I'll be like, come on, guys, we need to get close. We're all going to be in a hentai panel right now. Let's just. We're already.
You're like, listen, I need everyone here to acknowledge that this is weird because it's going to be less weird if we acknowledge it.
I like how any other situation that would be like, I'm just trying to talk to you about hentai. Why aren't you responding to me? But
it's definitely like that, and I feel like I think that's changing a little bit with kind of YouTube and stuff. And it was really hard for me to put that first episode out. I was very self-conscious about talking about this manga, and like I wanted to get like everything right. And then I noticed like, you know, I'm just gonna let it go. One take. I'll cut it up later. Let's see what happens. And
the comments are all very positive.
I was. Oh my god! I posted it and I didn't look at it for a while. I just put my phone away for a good couple hours, and then returning and seeing like the nice things that people said. It was
more engagement than our last podcast episode. You know, between that and your side gig with fucking Spencer, you're gonna break up with us.
Unqualified
me and Ian here holding it down while you're off crying at the hospital.
With pride.
That thumbnail too is a very nice thumbnail.
Oh,
yeah.
Made by Justine, our resident graphic designer.
Mm-hmm. It's very nice, very nice. But how do you feel? Because you said almost like overwhelmed, and for me, if I was like to even consider doing something like that, there's so many genres and everything. How and even on staff, we have people that take on different mangas and stuff. So how in your mind do you even approach like all those genres?
Yeah. Intro to manga, maybe an episode you should do. But
yeah, but that would be me taking the time to learn an intro to manga, because I don't feel like it would be me learning as much as the viewer, you know. It wouldn't be I'm going to talk at you. It'd be kind of us learning together, and like you teaching me something and me hoping that maybe I'll teach you something at some point and we kind of learn together type of community building. And that's what I was hoping for it. But for like genres that I approach, anything that stands out to me personally, I'll read. There are more better versed people on staff that are into shonen stuff. And necessarily I'm not the biggest shonen fan, but I've been changing that with like Jujutsu Kaisen, where I'm just like blown away by like this shonen that I never thought I would get into, because I never really got into like Dragon Ball Z manga or anything like that. But yeah, I wanted to. We launched manga last year in October, and I didn't want to do it. I was like super against it, because I know that when we do something, I have to give 120%, or else I feel like we're not really doing it. You know, I have to have all the animations ready, all the logos, all the overlays. It has to be planned out. This is the schedule. And that's why the show itself took so long, is because I needed to wait for the perfect time for me to be comfortable enough talking about it. And then having us at a time in YouTube where people won't just leave because they're like, oh, fuck, they're leaving video games behind, because I'm not trying to stop video game coverage at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is why I say you're the man behind Noisy Pixel every week, because you do have this, I don't want to say attention to detail, but sort of like a dedication that everything looks pristine and professional, even though it is sort of like a nerddom focused coverage. And it makes a difference. I think when people come to the page for the first time, there's an impression that they get the impression that you put a lot of care into all this stuff. So if nothing else, that probably comes through with the Manga podcast video show as well. So
I think also, like you were mentioning earlier, it's good that you're not, because I think a lot of those manga people, and like, I think just in general, they try to act like they're experts on everything. And I think it's good that you're just like, I don't know, I'm learning, and that's
being man of the people.
Because people can call bullshit like so quick, like So I think it's awesome, the way you're doing it. So
yeah, and I'm starting it's like a reading club kind of too, where it's a monthly reading club too, where that'll be my way of being introduced to new titles, and I'm gonna ask recommendations from readers and stuff, and that'll be another little thing. Luckily, it's only 2 shows a month. I'm not like throwing a shit ton of manga on my plate. Manga reviews are fucking fun too. I'll tell you that, because one, I read them in an hour, and writing them is only 500 words. Whereas reviews. I was
gonna say you're gonna get the perverse incentive that all video game reviewers got, where they're like, "What if we just did downloadable games? What if we just stopped reviewing 60-hour games? Wouldn't that be easier?"
Yeah, it's like a break away from the 10-hour, 20-hour game reviews that I'm used to. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I just lay in my bed, put on that chill music YouTube channel, and
that one,
the lo-fi hip hop girl,
lo-fi hip hop girl, put it on.
There's many variants of that, but okay.
But just that one,
chilled cow. Are we dropping names here? Or
get some flavored water, carbonated, and just chill.
Some people might call it seltzer, but the man of the people calls it flavored water, carbonated. That's how you know.
But that's that.
Well, it sounds like it's going very well, Azaria.
Yeah, so please check out the manga and let me know what you want, because
manga monthly sounds like it's a monthly show based on the name.
Yes. We'll have t-shirts and everything.
Particular week that it drops, or like third Thursday. Yeah.
Last week, last couple days of the month, maybe like the last Thursday of the month, and then because I don't want it to go the first of the month, because that's when we put out our top 10 games for that month, so I don't want to crowd that. So probably the last Thursday of the month.
I wouldn't pick a Thursday unless you want to put one out on Thanksgiving, but you do.
Oh yeah, maybe Wednesday. No, we don't have a show going out on Wednesday, so
yeah,
that might be good.
Cool. Well, we have been going for I think like 24, 25 minutes, so we could end here, or we could try to fucking wing it. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I think that was a pretty solid show overall. No questions from the viewers this week, although we appreciate all your comments last week, especially the guy that did a fairly in-depth comment on Eyes Wide Shut. We love when people are most engaged about the random things that we bring up that have nothing to do with video games.
I believe that was Todd B's Noisy Pixel superfan, Todd B. I always love seeing him. He's a great person.
So if you guys have questions for next week, feel free to leave some as a comment.
Or if you want me to give you a shout out and call you a great person, just leave a comment.
And if you want to be a super fan, do that like 100 times over 100
and tell me your favorite fucked up movie.
Yeah. Your favorite Stanley Kubrick film. Yeah, your favorite novelty film to recommend to somebody when they ask for a movie recommendation. Let's hear it.
What's that French one that I don't like?
The one that you referenced last week, Irreversible?
No, the French one with the kids in this thing, and they teach them sex or whatever, and
French one where they teach them sex, really narrowing it down here.
It's like it's like really fucked up. But if anyone knows, I'll think.
Kids? Are you thinking about kids?
No, I'm not thinking about. There are kids in this like castle thing, and they're like
castle.
Well, it's like a palace. It's like a big mansion. I know I went from castle to palace to mansion, but I'm going to stop at mansion.
It was like a 2 garage suburban home.
Yeah, you know, I won't think about it too much because I want someone in the comments to tell me.
Okay. We actually know we've been playing this bit, and if you can guess it correctly for next week, you'll win a prize.
I'll give you a game code. I have a few.
All right. Well, I mean, you signed yourself up for that.
I can't confirm you it's going to be a good game, but
I definitely have a game code of something ready to be used. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for the Noisy Pixel podcast this week. Once again, if you have questions or anything, feel free to leave a comment on the YouTube video. Follow us on Twitter, visit noisypixel.net. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Bye.